If you're a young advisor in your 20s, one of the biggest hurdles that you might face working with older clients, new clients who are older, is your age, unfortunately. Now, some of you may be lucky because you might look older already. If you're in your 20s and you might look like you're in your 30s, that's great. But if you're in your 20s and you look young, then your looks is actually going to be on your clients or your prospects' mind when talking to you, especially that first time. So today I'm going to share 4 things that you can do to overcome this age bias, and then one thing you can actually do to turn this into an advantage when you're meeting with your prospective clients for the first time. But first, welcome back, or if I haven't met you yet, I'm Dave Zoller. My business partner Tim and I, we run Streamline Financial. It's a wealth management firm in the Chicago suburbs with a little bit over 250 million under management. And we started this channel just for advisors so that we can share some of the things that's working on our journey to grow our firm. So if you're an advisor who's looking to improve yourself, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss future videos. So on to the first way that we can overcome this age bias. It's very simple and it's probably easy to do. But see if you can hold that first meeting with a prospective client via phone. So maybe they already looked you up and see what you look like on the website or something like that. But we found this to be really easy when I was in my early 20s to have a phone call, because that allowed us to build a strong connection via phone before we ever met in person. So if you can make a connection through that call, then the foundation's going to be there so that when you do meet in person, age is still going to be on their mind, but it's going to be less of an issue because you already started that connection with the client. And I have some future videos on how to build strong connections with prospective clients via phone. So be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that. But one way to do it in the first meeting via phone is to ask the values question. So if you're familiar with either Carl Richards or Bill Bachrach, they both have really good values questions. And I'll link to another video either here or in the description below so that you can kind of walk through how we use the values discussion in the first meeting as well to connect with prospective client. The second way to overcome that age bias is to highlight your experience and expertise by having some credentials after your name, right? The CFP is the most well-recognized one and a lot of clients know about it. But if you have some letters after your name, then you can add some credibility and make people a little bit more comfortable that you actually know what you're doing and it's not your first day on the job, right? The third thing to do is really highlight the experience of the firm. So when I was in my younger 20s, Streamline was around for 10 or 15 years and age was brought up in conversations sometimes. So just by mentioning the age of our firm, Streamline, and how long we've been helping people with retirement, that can bring a little bit more comfort to your future clients. And I have one more way to overcome age bias, and then I'll share the verbiage that you can actually say that's gonna turn your age into an advantage for some clients. But first, if this has been helpful so far, please like this video so that YouTube could recommend it to more advisors. So the fourth thing you could do, you can only do this if it is true, but just highlight the team planning approach that your firm has. It's not just you. You should really be highlighting the expertise of the team that you work with and how some people have different areas of expertise. This helps clients when they know that they're getting a team and not just one person. I would often tell them that if we get into a complex tax or estate planning issue in the future, I may not know the answer right there, but I always know where to go to get the answer. And that's why we love the team approach here at Streamline, and that's why we help our clients. Or something like that is how the verbiage went. Now, finally, here's how you can actually spin that age issue into a positive instead of a negative. Now, I used to say this to people because I asked a client of mine after a few months of working together, he was in his 60s, I asked, was age a factor when deciding to work with me? And he was a doctor, he was in his 60s, and he said it was a factor, but he wanted his professionals, the professionals that he hires, to be younger than him because he knew they wouldn't retire before he did, or they wouldn't die, hopefully, before he did because he was older. So you can only say this if it's true, but maybe it's worth asking one of your clients who's older, 50s or 60s, if age was a factor, and see what they say. So when a prospective client would come in and say, oh, you look a little bit younger than what I thought when we talked on the phone, I'd say, yeah, I am young compared to the average age of an advisor who's in their late 50s. But one thing actually surprised me of a client, a doctor who's in his 60s, actually told me that he purposely chose young professionals to be his team because he knew that they wouldn't retire before he did. So I love what I do, and the team here at Streamline loves what we do, and we plan to do this for a long time. So something like that, some verbiage like that, a lot of people have actually said that since then, that they're choosing, they like a younger advisor because they know that they're gonna be around for a longer time. And if you're in your 50s, if you're an advisor in your 50s or 60s, you might be retiring at the same time that your clients are. So That's for you younger advisors. I hope it was helpful. I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and then I'll see you in the next video.